Depression, I know you well. Not through me, but through some of my clients. One of my clients is trying to be the oldest man ever to play Division 1 college football in the US. He's nearly 60 years of age. He's training right now as we speak and record. The 10 signs of high functioning depression are coming up right now, but just remember that science and research has shown that the orbitofrontal cortex in primates, including humans, is a key brain area of emotion. And this particular client that I'm telling you about, he had emotional problems, such so that he was suicidal. Number one, persistent low mood, though, are for high functioning depressive people. People with high functioning depression may experience a consistency of low or sad mood. Now, this might not be severe, as in major depressive disorders, such as those that are suicidal, for example, but it might be sustainable as a mood and be more consistent across their frequency, such every day for weeks on end and months on end as well. A lot of people that have high functioning depression are exactly that. They're high functioning. They're able to go to work. They're able to maintain a relationship. They're able to function. But that does not mean to say that they're fully there and present. I've often heard and been explained by different clients of mine who have said that their partner has said, look, you're there, but you're not present as such. And this is a great problem in the modern day world. It's something that we have to realize, look, if you want to be in a physical relationship, well, then you physically have to be there and mentally have to be there as well. Another sign is fatigue and low energy. You can function very well on a very slow way, a snail pace as such. You can be fatigued, but you can just continue on. Never give in, never give up. That's fine. That's admirable. But despite managing daily responsibilities that high functioning people have to do, and again, responsibilities with regard to work, with regard to even basic health things. And a lot of people, by the way, see health as not just mental health, or not even mental health, but just physical health. So even the responsibilities of that could be going for jogs and runs, but it's not like touching or chipping away even at the mental issue that's there, or it's not even touching away at other issues such as things that are pushing down the depression in the first place. So in order to get away from that fatigue and low energy, something has to be done, where perhaps a stop has to be done in life about a lifestyle, and you have to dig in deeper with regard to what it is that's draining your energy and giving and causing this fatigue, even though you're sustaining doing what you're doing, albeit probably at a lower level. Third way is loss of interest. Many people with high functioning depression, they just lose interest in a lot of activities. They might just get up and go to work every day. They might put diesel or petrol or gas in the car, but in reality, they're just going through the motions, right? They're paying bills. They are perhaps underlyingly very empathetic towards others, including within the relationship and with the youngsters, perhaps their children within the relationship, maybe older people in their life. And they could be motivated in that regard to pay bills in that way for these people. But in reality, they've lost an interest in many aspects of their life. Fourthly, there could be a difficulty concentrating. And if we can't focus, it can become challenging. And this is where we start taking the finger off the pulse. Having difficulties in concentrating could come from that fatigue as well. It could come from that lack of interest. It could be sustained by all three together. And so it's another telltale sign. Now, all of these signs, by the way, they're all across a variation of time, longer than a few days, because the moods can come and go in a few days, but many behaviors will continue longer than that. Then there could be a difficulty of concentrating that leads to feelings of hopelessness as well. And individuals with high functioning depression might feel a sense of hopelessness about the future or their ability to experience joy again, because they get stuck. They get stuck in this just feeling of being in this consistent pattern of joylessness. And so they can't put their finger on perhaps what it is that got the ball rolling in the first place, what it is that allowed them to function as a male or as a female at a certain age. They might be middle-aged and might go, look, I can function, but I'm old, okay? I'm 40 years of age. But there's absolutely no science out there, real hard, good science to say that at a certain age of 40 or 50 years of age, that there's a switch that goes off in the brain that we cannot function at a higher pace. We can have more energy and vitality in that regard. It's just not there. So a lot of this can be overdone by the likes of procedures like strategies and self-talk and becoming more aware of things as well. They can be feeling hopeless, that things won't happen. And in doing so, even in conversations with them and trying to help them, they can be irritable. Always, with any depression, always seek out medical assistance about friends of yours. If they're irritable, frustrated, if they're ticking the box in many of these signs and symptoms, there's a good likelihood that certainly the conversation needs to happen as well. There could be social withdrawal. This, despite functioning well for a person in social situations, they might just pull away when it comes to the crux, when it comes to having to converse with 2 or 3 people. Whereas if they actually sit at the meal and just go through things and pop things into their mouth and keep their mouth shut, and you don't know where their head is at. But if they have to actually lead small groups, you get them away from the meal, you get them into more socially defined roles with more leadership that's required. And so you can see the difference then between the high functioning depression that might come out in that way, or a lack of actual interest in even doing that or seeking out leadership roles with regard to any form of depression, because we're naturally generally want to have more control and leadership in our futures as well. That's why we're trying to work towards a future as a normal, not just functioning, but non-depressive type of person. So with all that said and done, you can go to all these different areas of your life, health, wealth, relationships. And if all of these are ticking the box, or many of them are, certainly look out for the last couple now, because changes in appetite or weight are something that can definitely be more easily perceived. You can see a person that has developed into putting on a lot of weight, or equally who has lost a lot of weight. It means that they're not as consistent in the way they're preparing meals or putting enough self-care towards what they're buying or eating, or they're eating at the wrong times, or a collection of all of those things as well. High functioning depression can lead to changes then in physical changes that just don't begin with losing weight or putting on weight. Similar to losing and putting on something is losing and putting on times of sleep, right? If you're sleeping more or sleeping less, it's becoming perhaps a little bit more erratic. Those minutes before bedtime, those minutes in the morning, that a person has a lot of time to themselves, a lot of clarity can come in, where there's no noise, there's no colour or light coming into the receptors, and a person has static ability of their body just to kind of be with themselves. And there might be a person within the bed for them, but there might be just moments before bedtime or sleep and moments after wake first, for example, and they might just not be able to understand and be aware of what's going on. So there could be a lack of restlessness really in their sleeping pattern. The final one, and take them all together as a collection. And by the way, these are not just exclusive and conclusive, just 10. Could be other ones as well. These are 10 that we're mentioning today. You could have negative self-perception, not just of yourself, your own mind and your soul, but also your body as well. You mightn't see, by the way, the weight loss or the weight gain that we mentioned earlier on, but this negative self-perception of yourself more so. This might have a persistent negative view, this person, those that have the functional depression, view of themselves might be negative consistently, and their abilities, their worth as well, might not be seen as what societally it should be seen in general. So there's 10. There are more. Hope it's given some good information. Most importantly, go to a medical doctor, have a conversation, open your mouth on this, even if it's only asking the person that you feel might need that help or that conversation, and just make the stigma be tossed away so that you can help this person. It's all about helping the person, helping yourself, and so on. I hope it's helped you today, and if it has, please subscribe, and you can help yourself and others in the future for sure. Otherwise, ain't no point in doing any more videos. So it's up to you. I'll leave it in your good, capable hands. Until next time, though, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.